Hey everyone, this is Let Me Know How It Is, a podcast that discusses all things geek. Tonight, we discuss spoiler etiquette. This is a fun one for us, so I hope you'll enjoy. So I'm really excited for this topic. We're doing spoiler etiquette. There is such a thing. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. So I'm Zach Slater.
I'm Frank Melman.
I'm Tommy Smithery.
I'm Clifton. Okay. So the reason I want to talk about this is I think that it's important because I think it's all too easy to accidentally trip over stuff that reveals bits about the story for something you're excited about. So I think there's a problem that needs to be solved. So spoiler etiquette. What are our thoughts?
No spoilers.
At all?
No. No, I'm kidding.
I'll say that. No spoilers at all.
Yeah, but what's the time frame? How long does the material have to be out before you're not?
We want to go into time frame right now?
It has to be a time frame because...
You ready for this? I'm strict on this.
I know you are.
No time frame. Zero time frame.
So if I wanted you to read or see or witness anything, all you need is a mention, not a lead-in. Let's say there's a class...
Explain your time frame thing first.
Okay. That is relative now due to how fast people go through things. But to me, I always believed it was 6 months if you're really trying to watch, view, or listen to something that you're adequately anxious for. If not, I think after that point, you're holding people hostage to not discuss it. Because at that point, you're requesting...
Hostage?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're enforcing your viewpoint on them.
Right.
As opposed to basically putting as a muzzle on their enthusiasm as a result of you not seeing it. Now, mind you, I know this is an interesting room that I'm in right now because I exuberantly love to talk about stuff I've seen.
Yeah.
To the point
we all do. That's why we're doing this show.
Oh, no. Mine's a special case. We all know this. I love sharing my thoughts on a particular subject based upon material that I've seen. And I cannot exude.
In your monologue right now, you've queued me up for like 4 of my points that I want to make now. So I gotta pick my shots.
No, you can unload your weaponry at this point because I just like to talk about stuff, and it's hard to discuss stuff in earnest when the person hasn't seen it. That's all. I just like to pick their brain on the perspective, not so much the material and what they think. In some cases, I don't even care about spoilers if it's material that I just want to discuss, not so much witness the story or the thing unfolding. I just want to talk about the subject itself.
Right.
And I don't think spoilers of a certain nature actually spoil something unless you're witnessing the material firsthand and how it needs to be recorded. But my recreation of the scene or dialogue or whatever it is, paraphrased to you through me, is not actually spoiling because there are certain aspects of it that I will not be able to capture as a result of me talking about it. That's what I believe.
But you've told me plenty of times, let's not talk about this because I'm going to lean a certain way or I'm going to noodle it through. Have you? We've had those conversations.
Yeah, we have. But when I say that, it's imminently, the only reason why I can't see it, view it, or hear it is something that's boring me. But I'm all over watching or seeing.
No. I'm saying when you try to talk to me about stuff, I've asked you questions. Well, have you seen this? Have you watched this? And I haven't. And you're like, let's not talk about it because you're going to lean a certain way or you're going to think a certain way.
Yeah. Because I think
Frank, you are actually very good about that. I will say that. In all the years I've known you, you've been awesome at like, do you want to know? Do you not want to know? Like you've queued us up.
Yeah.
For everything. Clifton, do you ever rebuttal to what Tommy is saying first before I go? Because I may be long-winded, so I want to get everybody to say. Okay. My issue with the time frame thing is it assumes that we're all on the same time frame, and we're not. Right? So this is the point. The very famous thing that everybody likes to say, like spoiler alert for a 30-year-old book. Right?
I do.
Well,
I do all the time.
There's people out there that are not the same age as us that haven't encountered that book yet, right?
Okay.
So there is a kid out there today maybe listening to the show, right? Who has not watched or read Watchmen yet.
Or a lazy adult.
Right. And you know at some point that you're not ready for that book until you become a certain age. It's not even like what's in the book. We should say that we are going to spoil a ton of stuff as we talk about spoilers.
Not really.
But you know what I mean? Like it's not even that it's a graphic book, right? It's the fact that you're not ready for that book until you get to be a certain age. You don't appreciate the fact that it's not characters you don't recognize, right? Okay. You don't appreciate the subject matter that it's going to hit, right? Okay. And it's such a seminal piece that if you're 16 and you're just getting to a point where you're going to pick it up, I think you should have the right to read that book and still be surprised by it.
Okay. I haven't said that. We live in an era in which there's, what's the phrase? There's nothing new under the sun. And what it means is whenever something comes out of that importance, it's affected from that point forward. The longer you take, or regardless if you're born, it's already affected people around you, regardless of if it's a direct spoiler from it or not. But people are affected, and the stories from that point are affected. Like, if you've never read Romeo and Juliet, then if you watch the West Side Story, it spoiled it for you. Does that make sense?
Not necessarily, though.
But that's my point. If you haven't seen the material firsthand, I don't think I can truly spoil it for you in such a way that it takes away all feeling or depiction of it from your eyes. Now, I haven't said that. If you watch certain things at a certain point past their unwrap date or whatever they've approached it, the material will affect other material moving forward. And the longer you take not to see it, you can't help but have recreations or seen it in other forms of media as a result.
You can still be unaware that something is emphasized or something is influenced another piece of material that you've watched.
No, you can't.
So case in point that I will make.
Okay.
It's very, very small detail.
Okay.
Right? You watch Reservoir Dogs and Mr. Blonde, Mr. Green, Mr. Blue, and everything like that, right?
Okay.
Mr. Pink. Mr. Pink, all that stuff. So they all have those names and everything.
Okay.
Right? It's a tiny, tiny thing.
Okay.
I watched The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. The original, the one from the 70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that comes from that movie.
Okay.
Because all the thieves in there, I'm Mr. Blue, I'm Mr. Green, right? I'm watching Reservoir Dogs, which I saw first, and I have no idea that it's influenced by this other movie from the 70s that I tripped over that I wanted to see for other reasons.
Okay.
Right? So, yeah, Watchmen has influenced things.
Yeah.
Right? But you can still, but that doesn't mean that that a kid that's going to finally get ready to okay, I think I'm ready for this book, to read it and not know, and not be surprised for it.
Okay. But I remember when you tell me a story that when your girlfriend first watched Back to the Future.
Oh yeah.
She's like, oh, now all those Family Guy episodes make sense.
Yeah. Right. Yes.
I think what you're trying to say, Tommy, is the fact that I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I think what you're trying to say is the idea that sooner or later stuff becomes so much part of the zeitgeist, it becomes so much part of culture that it's hard not to have stuff spoiled. Sure. Like for the longest time, if you've never seen Taxi Driver and you're talking to me, like that whole thing is one of those things where you wouldn't necessarily know that's what it's from. Or I'm walking here.
Yeah.
From
Midnight Cowboy.
Midnight Cowboy. I think. Almost a drugstore cowboy, but that's a totally different movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, for Midnight Cowboy, you would know that. But for years, that was one of those things of if you were in the know or you'd seen it before, and those are technically spoilers, I guess. But they're not. I don't think anyone set out to spoil them. I think they became common knowledge, or
Yeah.
But at one point, things become adaptations. Like you can say Star Wars or Force Awakens. I understand you not wanting to hear something directly from the material itself. I get that. That's fine. But at one point, you gotta, you as a viewer or watcher, not as a 12-year-old kid looking at new material, you gotta acknowledge at one point, stuff is pushed out there more so than it ever has. And to me, I try to get in front of it by actually watching material or getting some kind of information regardless of it to let me know what it is. Now, I can't stop the world.
I understand.
From pushing out information, but I can at least circumvent the process slower to the point where I gotta get that information in before.
You can't stop the world. You can't stop the room in certain instances of not telling you something. But like what I'm trying to say is I think it's not that hard to not be an asshole. Right? I think and I've been in conversations where I've said, don't say anymore, don't spoil it for me. And then the next thing out of their mouth is, okay, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but man, you're not going to see that ending coming. And I'm going like, okay, like you didn't tell me what the ending was, but now you've given me what I call a non-specific spoiler
that you're going to be looking
that now I know that there's some kind of twist ending. So now I'm looking for it when I see this thing that I'm excited about. Right. And so this is why, and I, again, admittedly, I'm super strict about this, but this is why I don't even want to know if somebody's seen something before me or read something before me. I don't even want to know if you like it or not, because if I've talked shop enough with you,
we've had that too,
right? I know where your taste kind of like overlaps with my taste in the Venn diagram of things, right? So,
like if Tommy likes something, we know somebody died.
Yeah,
that's not true.
It's super dark.
Change occurred, right? Probably a death,
right?
Oh my gosh, whatever.
Yeah, like, more likely someone died and change, which is death, occurred.
So that's I get like a lot of that's on me. I understand that and everything, but the other thing with the timing thing is like not everybody's able to go through television or movies or read stuff to the clip that other people are.
No, I agree. There's so much information out there than it ever has been.
Yes.
Yeah. Life happens. People, you got to slow. Like I'm super slow at watching stuff.
No.
I understand, and the responsibility is on me to avoid that stuff.
It's not slow,
right?
When you love something, you embrace it and think that's the only thing that it could ever be greater than.
Like Home Improvement.
Yes, I love Home Improvement.
But there are so many other sitcoms out there that may have surpassed. I mean, I say may have because it has to stand up to your standards of excellence.
Do they have JTT in that?
No, because he's not getting any work.
But like, so when I said like everybody has different ways that they consume things, right? Like I have to be awake. I have to not be in a state of mind where like I'm tired. Right?
What do you mean?
I hope so.
This is why at night I fall back to repeats of sitcoms often. Right?
Because it's familiar. It's not a big deal.
It's familiar. It's familiar. I still get enjoyment out of it. But if I have to get up to like unload the dishwasher or something like that, or I have to go change the baby's diaper or something, like I can go right back into the story and not miss anything, right? I have to, if I'm going to watch something brand new, like I have to almost like plan for it now. Like I have to clear out time. I have to make sure the baby's asleep, right? I have to make sure the dogs have all gone out. So I'm not going to be, and I don't have to wake up early the next morning. So this is why it takes me forever to get through stuff. And again, I understand that that's on me to not have it to avoid spoilers. But what I'm saying is that they've made it so impossible to not have things spoiled. So the example I'm going to give, El Camino, which I still have not seen yet.
No spoilers.
Right?
Oh,
no spoilers.
I bet that's bull. Yes. I know I couldn't watch that in its entirety, so that's bull.
But this is my point.
I'm just kidding.
Right? El Camino dropped on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
October 11th.
Yeah.
October 11th.
Yeah.
Okay. October 14th in my newsfeed, a Rolling Stone article came in that told me something about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
A big thing that I would have, I would really like to have seen that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right? And come in fresh.
Sure.
3 days.
Yeah.
3 days.
Yeah.
It was spoiled.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the world is saying you have 3 days to consume this before,
if you're lucky,
right?
Yeah.
And that I was not seeking it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't go to Rolling Stone every day.
Sure.
I don't go to Rolling Stone at all. I have no idea why that popped into my news feed. I'm just checking my news feed to see what's in there. Sure enough. I had no idea.
It's the same thing with Facebook. I have similar situations where a comic book will come out, Wednesday morning. And because someone has early access Tuesday night, they know somebody in the shop or they work in the shop.
Yeah, they're spilling the beans.
Yeah. And they're already telling you exactly what happened.
Or the publisher put out a press release.
Or or DC or Marvel will basically ruin it for themselves and not, jump the gun. Be like, you got to get in there to see what happens when, these two characters don't get together. Yeah. That's one of those.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, I understand that those type of articles come about. Mm. For me, I go on media shutdown.
I do too.
To me, it's only it's my solution to deal with those situations because again, I can't control the world.
Yeah, no, you can't.
And then as a result of it, I shut stuff down until I know I'm in a amicable way to watch it or present it or
but
see.
I do think that there are some common sense courtesy stuff that's not being put in place. So another one, Frank, to go along with your point, where I've had comic book spoil, and this is not a big spoiler at all, but when Batgirl or Burnside was going on, right, and this is where I learned to go like I got to go on media shutdown for everything now. But when Batgirl or Burnside was going on, there was an issue that had. Sorry if you haven't read it. It's not a big deal. But Dick Grayson pops up at the end of an issue. Right? And it would have been nice to see that pop up, be surprised, because the characters haven't been together in a long time at this point. So you're interested to see whatever their conversation is going to be. Right? The comic book came out that day.
Right.
And I saw this spoiled at 11 a.m. Eastern time on a website.
That's what I'm saying.
So I mean, that's the point I'm making. It came out on a Wednesday, 11 a.m. on a Wednesday. So comic shops in this time zone have been open an hour at best.
Right.
If not opening that moment, like when I checked it. Right. So we're assuming that that you don't have a job.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big time.
You managed to get to the comic store at opening. And read it before readers. Here it is. This is what happens.
Right.
And I'm like, come on, really? Day of an hour.
Well, Clifton and I had this similar situation of working in the shop where you had this every now and then, where someone would pick up a book that you hadn't read. Luckily, I read a lot of stuff on Tuesday nights, but you would get to work on Wednesday. You work on New Comic Day, or the shipment was a day late for a holiday or whatever. You'd be there, and then someone would go up and read a book that you hadn't read. Flip through it, and then come to the register and want to talk to you about it.
Right.
And you have to be like, whoa, wait a minute. I haven't read that yet.
Like, I just clocked in.
Yeah. I walked in the door. You can't tell me about this book yet. I'm a fan as well. I collect and read these things too. Give me a minute.
Yep.
Just before you start. I remember once there was a guy who came in with, I wasn't there for it, but was flipping the book. It's around the time of, DeMatteis was on Amazing Spider-Man, and it was right around 300.
Right.
And there's a point where the person flipped through the book, and the person behind the counter hadn't read it yet, and he's like, "Oh, it's not a big deal." Aunt May's on the floor at the end of the issue.
Right.
And he was like, and this is long before we're the culture that we're in now, where it's like everyone has to say, "Whoa, no spoilers." Yeah. It was a thing of that sort of thing happened then. Another thing that's weird is when you're on that side of being in the comic shop, when you have people that don't understand that it's not a library.
Right.
And it's not okay to just come in and read everything for free. I had a situation where a guy sat there one night and basically read the entirety of Watchmen.
Oh, really?
Damn.
Yeah. Sat there.
Hell?
And he was a guy who was on notice. We've been told many times, hey man, we need to sell books. It's not
of all books, you read that in one sitting.
Was standing there like flipping through all of Watchmen.
Jeez.
And I had that moment of like, do I tell him who did it?
I'd have told him. Man. I'd have told him.
That was my thought. Was like, oh, by the way, it's so and so. So and so did it.
So wrong.
Oh, right. Did you get to the part where you did this?
Right. Yeah, but didn't see this coming.
Yeah. Should have bought the book.
Yeah.
If you're that interested.
Yeah, exactly. But that's
wow.
I mean, for me, it's one of those things where I personally I don't like spoilers. If it's something I don't care about or have no plan of enjoying it, tell me all about it.
Yeah.
But I personally don't like. I love trailers, and those still cause me to lean certain ways and start to put stuff together. You and I spent how many times did we watch?
Dark Knight?
Yeah.
We could have wrote a thesis on the Dark Knight trailer.
On the Dark Knight trailer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We were piecing that together.
Yeah. Yes, as if
this, we might
disappoint.
We might as well have one of those crazy boards with yarn.
Yeah.
With different things of the trailer alone, because the stuff. Well, this was happening before this happens. But I don't like spoilers. I don't like trailers. I don't like coming up next. I don't like. I have no problem with any of that stuff. I don't like the idea of if it's something I want to watch, I want to enjoy it in the moment and not have it spoiled. That's just me. I'm also the same person that I make a big point of, do you care? Yeah. Are you ever going to care?
Yeah.
Like I always put that out there to people. If I'm going to spoil something for them, I don't want to tell them. Like you and I, Tommy, do that all the time where I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
And
that's for your guts. I'm good.
Yeah. As long as you give me the green light, I don't care. I'm never watching this stupid thing.
Right.
But tell me all about it. But otherwise, don't say, Tommy tells me all the time, Don't say a word.
Yeah.
I'll watch.
No, I think all of us actually. I mean, everybody at this table, like we're all. I mean, and we're respectful of that too.
Sure,
I think, but not everybody is. I mean, and that's where I'm coming around saying like, just don't be an asshole. So I have one more story.
So I just want to mention the fact of I've conceded due to media and time constraints. Even if I'm enthusiastic for something, it has to be on a certain level for me now. It has to be a gigantic level for me now.
Right.
I've been like, just tell me. Just pull the ripcord.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that I don't care. I'm like, yeah, go ahead and spoil
I'll
for
care.
Me. Like you know what I mean? Because I know I'm not going to get to it soon.
Yes.
Or it's just not the top of my list at the moment.
Yeah.
To get like, there's other things I want to spend my time at, but where I just say like, don't be an asshole. So I was at work one time. This is when Game of Thrones was like really just going strong.
You told me this,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, but it's an important story, I think, because it's one of those instances where you can't. This is the origin of why I didn't stick with Game of Thrones.
Okay,
right. So I was at work and I was doing work on this computer that specific for. I was doing CG, so it was the only computer in the building that I had to do this work on. Right. It wasn't I could just get up and go to another computer. I was, held to that space right there. Right. And so this is a production studio and everything like that. So it, like in the business, the hurry up and wait, everything was set up. Mm-hmm. We were waiting for talent to come along. So the rest of the crew is just kind of talking, right? People kind of congregated around me, right?
Right.
And I'm typing in, I'm getting like the lower thirds ready for the show that we're doing that time, right? People start talking Game of Thrones. Now at the time, I watched all of season 1. And I've been watching season 2 with my sister-in-law. Mm-hmm. I don't have HBO, so I was going to their house to watch it.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, we missed an episode. She had something to do that Sunday evening or whatever. So we missed that episode and we never got caught up. Right. So I was behind for a number of times. Anyway. So the long and short of this story, too late, is people start talking Game of Thrones and I'm saying to them all like, I haven't seen it.
Right.
Right. Bear in mind, I have to be in that chair.
Sure.
These people can get up and move
to
any other space.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And they continue to go on. More people start here. Oh, you're talking Game of Thrones. Group gets bigger. I had Red Wedding spoiled for me at that time. And this was the moment where I'm like, okay, like I'm just not into the show now. Like I know way too much. Nothing surprising for me.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Those people could have gotten up. They were just hanging out.
Of course.
Like, there's more than enough space. I had to be there, you know? And I get it. And I'm putting it on the rest of the world. I understand. But I'm like, but this is like, just don't be a jerk.
Sure,
right?
absolutely.
Like we could have curbed what we were saying a little bit,
Yeah.
That's just me.
Well, I think I might have told this story about when Force Awakens came out. Our buddy Dan hadn't seen it yet and was on a board for it might have been microphone equipment, it might have been photography equipment, it might have been who knows what. He was just on a board looking up information, and someone had written in their signature post, "Oh yeah, so and so dies."
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is what basically all the major plot points, which had nothing to do with what the board that he was on. And he's like, oh yeah, going into it, I knew what was going to happen. I had already had it spoiled for me. So there are people that go out of their way to,
be jerks.
Yeah, be jerks, be a-holes, spoil stuff.
The production reviews for tea kettles and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me tell you about this porcelain plate.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, Rosebud's,
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. You may not have seen it.
Right.
I mean, or that episode of Real Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
Citizen Kane for some reason.
Or that episode of Cheers where Frasier gets upset, because I think that's where it comes from. Where it's like they're talking about something at the bar. I can't remember what it is, but Frasier gets very heated about something, and that's where he's like, "No, Rosebud is a slave. Right. Darth Vader is Luke's father." Right. And he says all this stuff, and Woody, of all the things, I can't believe that he's Luke's father. Why would Dr. Crane tell me that?
Right.
It's one of those, and I think generally that's where that comes from, is the idea that that moment is like people start to realize, well, yeah, you shouldn't spoil stuff for people,
right?
But
no, you shouldn't.
Yeah,
I don't think. I mean, there's nobody really at this table, I think, that actively seeks out spoilers, and I know that those are out there too. That some people just get so excited about, and they want to know everything about whatever this thing is before it comes out.
Well, I mean, have you ever? That's a good question. Have you ever spoiled something for yourself without meaning to?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You have? You?
Accidentally, yeah.
Oh, no. What do you mean
Yeah.
by accidentally? I mean,
Like, you're
is it
looking-
like Dan's situation where you stumble across something and you just flip the page and watch it?
No. I sought something out thinking that it was safe because I mean we should talk about this too because like I'm okay watching trailers.
Yeah,
I'm okay watching trailers. Clifton, I know, like you try to avoid them.
I'll usually watch the first one and then try to avoid the later ones, just because then they start to show more.
Right.
And I start like piecing it together, and I don't want to piece it together.
Yeah.
So I avoid some.
I'm okay watching them and I'll seek them out because I kind of want to know what it's about. And my thought process is I'm going to see it in a movie anyway. So I'm never going to not be able to stay clean. Although now I'm going to the movie so seldom. I could probably just stop watching spoilers and just be surprised with everything.
I see trailers so much now.
But
movies all the time.
Yeah.
But I watched the first Picard trailer, really impressed.
Uh-huh.
Said like, oh, I want to know more about it. Watch the second one. And in the second one, I'm like, why did you show me that?
Right.
Come on, people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, I just recently come across something that was spoiled in a way for me, but it's weirdly spoiled. Like,
right.
But it something hasn't even been out yet, but they're trying to pull something else towards it. And they put it in a short that didn't even need to be made.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw there was a short. I'm like, guys.
And when I saw it, I was like, that's nothing to do with the story at all.
Right.
Yeah.
At all.
No,
I didn't need it's crazy that you would say that because who needs a lead in for Picard?
Yeah.
Do you? Do you need to be enticed?
But yeah, maybe. Again, but like I said, not everybody's the same age. So there's people out there that haven't.
No, I get that.
My brother-in-law told me 2 weeks ago. I don't know if he's trolling me or anything. He honestly told me this. He's like, you want to know what? I've never seen the first Die Hard. I've never seen it.
No, he's trying to hurt you.
Yeah, right. I think he doesn't like you.
It's one of those things where, like, yeah, I wanted to. I'm like, there's nothing more important to do right now than this. Find it and sit down and watch it.
No, but I get that. It took me time to wrap my head around that because of how I love the movie.
Yeah,
but he's not on that plane of existence. Like, if you name the best Hallmark movie and you gushed about it. Yeah. And I'm no
Christmas with Holly. It's the best one.
but I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Starring Eloise Mumford.
Well, okay.
That's great.
You know, the true meaning of Christmas is husband.
Oh, my goodness. But you guys understand that there's some people who just don't care to watch certain things.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
But with that said, when they say you haven't seen it, then my next question is, what do you enjoy? Because then they will
Hallmark
never.
movies, apparently.
I'm in Die Hard. Yeah.
No, I mean,
because you could sit there and watch with him, and he might fall asleep halfway through.
I mean, he's very much into the stuff. I mean, I didn't press it because, like, you know, we were leaving. We were like, you know, we had the jackets on. We were walking out the door, and it was just said in passing. So I didn't, as much as I wanted to sit down and be like, hang on. I wanted to interview and be like, wait, hang on.
Did he give you a bro hug? It was like Hail Hydra.
Yeah,
right.
I've never seen Die Hard.
So I don't know how it's like how he's avoided it. I don't know if it's one of those things of like he knows everything about it by now and just like I'm not gonna sit and watch it. I don't know.
He knows what a TV dinner feels like.
Right. You know what I mean? But that's the thing that I'm just trying to say that I don't think it's talked about on this subject enough. My son's 1. He's never seen Empire Strikes Back.
Get on that.
You know what I mean? Like, you know?
What are you waiting for?
You know what I mean? What kind of dad are you? What are you taking so long,
you know,
man?
And I understand that that's going to be spoiled for him. I mean, it's impossible that it's not going to be at some point. You know? But
it's by all standards considered an old movie by current kids standards.
I mean, there are still video. I mean, you go on YouTube. There are still videos of kids' reaction to seeing that moment of like Vader revealed.
Yeah.
You know, that still happens. So it's possible.
Yeah.
It's just not probable.
Yeah.
It's because the reason why it's not probable because arguably that is part of pop culture. That is part of the zeitgeist that's been done. You know,
I would even say arguably it is.
Yeah.
You can have that spoiled in a Simpsons episode.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You can, there's any place that could be spoiled. Sure. And I mean, and most of the dynamics we're talking about is just conversational. People talking to other people and everything. And I think that's easier to figure out. I mean, what I think the big problem is headlines spoiling things before. So this is my point. So even still, Watchmen, I don't think just for that responsibility that there are kids that are going to go to websites to check out comic book news and everything. And I still don't think that you should reveal the ending to Watchmen in a headline, even if it's almost 40 years old at this point.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Seminal plot points of a subject shouldn't be revealed openly.
Yeah.
Okay, I can agree with that. Like, no,
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's again, I do my best to control my environment as opposed to the people in it. I understand how you felt about your story concerning the issue. And they were just jerks. And unfortunately, you can't eliminate jerks from the world. Because trust me and believe.
Trust me.
I mean, I've had
the Punisher would exist for that, man.
I have no problem telling people I'm going to walk away from now.
Yeah.
You guys talk about all you want. I'm just going to walk away from it.
Cuss them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem being like, no, you guys talk about all you want. I'm going to go back to wherever I was and not be here.
Yeah, no, I agree, and normally I will do that too. But in that instance,
no,
I had to do my job, and
sure.
I'm like,
yeah.
But getting back
everybody.
to my question, I mean, like, I know there's times where I have inadvertently been looking for information about stuff and inadvertently spoiled something, or had that moment of like, well, I really didn't need to know that.
Yeah,
with spoilers, and it's one of those things where I don't think I just think with the fact with the amount of the deluge of information that we're given every day, it's kind of hard not to. In a lot of ways. This is not someone put it at someplace you're not supposed to have it. This is literally like scrolling through something or looking at, a page and someone's put up an image or, I just think that happens.
Yeah, but to me nowadays, I don't know. I don't think people understand between spoilers and Easter eggs. So does that make sense? Like even now industry people throw stuff out there. Like for example, what Clifton was saying concerning trailers. Do I need to see that in that way? I mean,
no, I agree with you. There's a difference. I mean, obviously, there's a huge difference between an Easter egg and a spoiler.
Yeah.
I just think it's one of those things where a lot of times the enticement, like you were saying, that having the short, that,
that pissed me off, man.
Oh, I'm sure it would too. I don't, there are things that I will stay away from if I don't want to know.
That's the thing. You don't know. It's you don't know. Oh my God. It's like what Zach was saying earlier concerning news feeds. Now the need to get your attention to read the article is so great that they're willing to do whatever it takes, even to me immoral of describing certain things. Like I listen to Pop Culture Happy Hour all the time, and they do a good job of not spoiling certain material and talking about it in earnest without having to reveal key points of the material during their telecast or whatever.
Right.
But you have certain news outlets, great news outlets, or huge news outlets that, give you feeds and it'll be in the damn title.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's absurd to the level of which they're trying to reach out.
But I mean, I think a prime example that like recently is the fact that you still haven't had Powers of X or House of X spoiled yet, right?
That's astounding.
No, I haven't.
You either?
Yeah, I haven't read it. Haven't.
I mean, I know that you and I have both we've talked about it. We've talked around about what's going on, but
I'm
not quite sure how that happened. No, I'm really not.
Sure,
I'm wondering.
I am too. Honestly,
I'm amazed.
Yeah, because it's one of
because the book is doing well. It's not like you guys are the only two people reading this thing,
right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
that was one of the
X-Men.
ones. That's one of the ones when we'd asked about the last time. I was surprised that you didn't, because not knowing about some of the bigger things that have happened. It's amazing to me because it's in the culture
very
that we
much
live
so.
Another anti-spoiler one. It's kind of a surprise. Our engineer reminded me of it was with Endgame that Marvel requested.
Yeah.
Like a moratorium on spoilers, especially regarding the climax. And for the most part, like I think everyone stuck to it. I didn't see the information pop up. The reviews didn't include it.
The actors had talking points too, where like they referred to what happens as different things on talk shows and stuff like when they were doing press.
But one thing I remember being funny about it is Marvel requested about 2 weeks. And if I remember right, it was about 10 days after release that the Spider-Man Far From Home trailer came out. And it does also reveal some of the stuff itself. And then people are like, wait, Marvel, you told us 2 weeks. What are you doing?
Well, that's what I was saying earlier with, oh my God, corporations can't even stop talking about their own stuff.
But I think with that one, it was done. I mean, I think that might have been it might have been, do as I say, not as I do, because they want to be able to tout their own stuff.
Right.
But at the same time, we've talked about this, I think in the very first episode of the podcast, the idea that, you had Funko Pops with Hulk busting out of Hulk buster armor, and it didn't happen.
And it didn't happen.
And then Marvel, there's in the trailers that we got for Infinity War, Thanos doesn't have certain doesn't have Infinity Stones in his glove, and the scene with the Hulk running with everybody
reshot
else.
some stuff with Thor and everything.
To make you think certain things were going to go. And I, again, to avoid spoilers, I think that I have no problem with that.
In fact, I love it. I absolutely love it. I love that they're muddying the waters a little bit now, and they're like, wait a minute. So now I even what you're showing me, I can't even take as like. This may happen, it may not happen.
But
and they're not the only ones.
But why doctor stuff? Just don't show it. You rather get the doctor stuff as opposed to just a different scene? All they could have had was this, like, what was it? Oh my God, the scene where people where they're looking up at Endgame. Mm-hmm. People are like, what are they looking up to? Oh my God. and then photo edited scenes. All you have to do is show something else. They didn't have to. They didn't.
It's just the misdirection.
It's past misdirection. It's a lie. It's not misdirection.
I'm happy with them lying
magic trick.
Yeah. I'm happy with them lying to me.
To me, the magic trick is oh my God. It's just
the thing that you have to know though is that like the people that make the trailers are not the people that make the movies.
Well, that's not something that's common knowledge. That's something
true.
that if you're into movies hugely, then you discover that as a result of it. But the people that make the movies green light the trailers. They have to see the trailers before they're made. Mm-hmm. So at one point they're like, go for it.
Right.
So I know, of course they don't make them, but
you do have to show something. That's the thing. Like, you can't not show anything.
But that's my point. I understand not showing anything, but doesn't have to be something doctored.
But having the Hulk not run with them when they're charging at the camber it doesn't take anything away from the story whatsoever.
It doesn't.
I
just appreciate it.
It just makes people. Yeah, it does. I'm on the same page with you, Zach. The fact that I personally, for someone who leans certain ways, I'm expecting the Hulk to bust right at.
Yeah, never happens.
And I mean, I'm not willing to disagree with you. Like, just don't put that stuff in there. Yes. I'm thinking, but what do you put in? I mean,
I'm waiting for.
Are you making the trailer then look like an episode of West Wing, where it's just like people in a room talking the whole time and I have no action?
Okay, we all are music fans, of course.
Sure.
We all remember singles.
Yeah.
Singles was to let you know that an artist was about to drop a whole album, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. Upon recently, for lack of being diverse, Beyonce. Mm-hmm. Sure. Everybody knows Beyonce, whether you collect her or not.
Right. Mm-hmm.
She drops a single, you're excited, you get the album. Okay. She just dropped an album. Mm-hmm. No single, no notoriety. Still went straight to the chart. I'm waiting for that age to hit movies. Certain franchises don't need a trailer. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping somebody has the balls to say, bam. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, the date can be set because that's inescapable. But I'm waiting for the moment in which certain things don't need an introduction on invitational level. It's because of people do the hunt of finding who's in the actor, who's doing the directing. And I want the bam moment. So that's to see the reaction, to see how it was received. Now, mind you, these is untested waters. I understand that. Mm-hmm. Millions of dollars are at stake because people think that some way, shape, or form that other people don't talk amongst each other. To me, it recalls of The Matrix. I remember The Matrix show during the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And people forgot about it because of the anticipation of Star Wars. It almost eclipsed it coming because everybody remembered the pivotal scene in which the bullet time, you see it for the first time. When I went to go see The Matrix, it was almost word of mouth because everyone forgot about it.
Right.
And it still did tons. Mm-hmm. Certain franchises, not to say The Matrix is one because The Matrix was new in its own.
You can say the franchise you're talking about. You're talking about Star Wars.
No.
You're talking about Star Wars.
I wasn't thinking about Star Wars. I was thinking about just put Avengers 5 on the title.
Okay.
And just set a date. You think anybody's waiting for the trailer that's going to bulk?
I'm with you. But I do think Star Wars is closer to what.
Star Wars is definitely closer
than even the Marvel stuff.
But again, we're getting back to the idea of spoiling stuff yourself. I remember I finally found the D23. Someone had, shooting from their armpit with their cell phone. Caught that moment of Thanos ripping down the moon.
Yeah.
In Infinity War, spoiler. Thanos
Oh, from the book.
Yeah,
Right.
Thanos ripping down the moon, and I'm like, I had that moment of like, that was amazing. I really wish I'd not seen that in somebody's armpit.
Yeah.
It was
And,
cool.
I mean,
like the first time I saw, I was like, oh my god,
some
did
of
that
this,
just
like
happen?
you said, some of this, like you said, are like self-inflicted wounds.
Sure,
like,
absolutely.
I'll look at set pictures sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I kind of want to know like what I won't make a snap judgment about it because Clifton, like you say, like there's a difference seeing costume on film in a color corrected among the set pieces, like seeing it the way the director wants to see it. But I still want to see like what RoboCop's going to look like,
Sure.
or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, that's like the most recent thing I saw was, not to put this in the time frame, but they had shots of Kit Harington as Dane Whitman.
Yeah.
From Eternals just came out a couple days ago.
Oh, and I've not seen it. I have not seen it.
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was curious to see what it looked like.
Yeah.
F that. Give me the
No,
shock.
I think, but going back to what Tommy was saying, yeah, I'm intrigued by it to see like if there's a giant franchise movie that's ever going to go out without a trailer. Just like we don't have to talk about it.
Yeah. Watch it.
Like we're just like the trailer is just the name of the movie and the date.
Yes.
And that's
But
it.
again, you have stuff where think about when was it Dark Knight Rises? People are going or people are going to theater or what was the movie that were people going to the theater to see the trailer and then walking out?
That was
Phantom
that
Menace
was-
back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That wasn't Phantom
89
Menace, yeah.
Batman. I remember whatever that movie
Yeah.
opened, whatever movie
Sure.
first showed that was like
Yeah.
number one for how many weeks in a row because
I
people
recorded-
just went to
went
go
to
see
see
the
I
that.
Batman
recorded
show.
off
yeah.
Entertainment Weekly and watched it to death. Killed that piece of that VHS tape.
I mean, like, I don't know. I'm thinking, I'm wondering if Solo maybe would have done better had it not even had a trailer.
No, I don't know. I just don't think we're
not Solo.
yeah.
This is what we're doing now.
I do think there was something about that trailer that came out that I think that turned people off a little bit. I think the reason that movie was not a huge financial success to what they thought is a multi-pronged thing. And I want to reiterate, I think Solo's an awesome movie. Like, I really like it.
Release
I really
the Lord
like
and Miller cut.
Yes, thank you. Release the Lord Miller cut because
don't
they.
need
Oh
it. I
my gosh,
like
what-
what I got.
what they like. They did the screenplay. All he did was just take the pieces off the floor and arrange it there around how I wanted to put it. To me, I wanted to see that stamp. I wanted to see that spin. That's all. I'm not saying I'll enjoy it.
Right.
I just want to see their vision because the casting is great for that movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you got a good cast.
Yeah.
We're getting sidetracked.
Yeah, we are.
We're getting sidetracked. I'm just saying. I do think that there was some reaction to the trailer of showing like when that kid first spoke and he looks like Harrison Ford, right? He kind of walks around. He's got kind of the swagger, but when those lines were not
He didn't
carbon
bother to
copy
speak like
exactly the way that Harrison Ford would have read those lines, I think that was something that turned people off and made people go like, "Oh, this kid's Han Solo."
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I mean, Star Wars is an interesting one when it comes to.
But again, I still don't think we're in an age where a trailer is a spoiler necessarily. I still think they do it. I think they give you too much. I think there's plenty of movies that I've seen the trailer and it's spoiled because I don't need to see the movie at this point.
Yeah.
There's nothing left. You gave me the whole thing.
It can be. I think the other area that's interesting is Nolan. Like you brought up Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah,
that's an interesting thing. The new movie Tenet, like the new movies. I mean, it does have a trailer, but it's got it's got like a very vague trailer.
It's a teaser. We'll
I want to say it's a trailer. Yeah.
Yeah.
But will you say the same thing about James Bond movie?
What do you mean?
At this point, do we need a trailer for a James Bond movie?
Yes.
You think?
Yeah, we do.
Inconsistency.
We do.
I think inconsistency because there's been some not so good ones that would turn people off, and you need to convince them to come back.
But that's my point.
Anytime the actor changes
not a Bond
too.
person?
Anytime the actor changes though too, I think even more so. I think the first Bond in a actor's run is really important. That
the reason why I say that is because I saw damn near nothing for Casino Royale. My brother bought the DVD. I'm like, here, but I wasn't on the radar. I wasn't paying attention for it. I wasn't looking for it.
Right.
But I went into that damn near cold. And I think I got a better reaction not knowing the intricacies involved. And you just saw it.
I mean, no, I'm not saying could be. I mean, that's your experience with it. I mean, Daniel Craig did have some skepticism.
Yeah, there was some detractors.
There was a lot of detractors around him. He was blonde and all this other stuff.
He came off a wrestling mat.
But I just, but I don't know. I mean, reading books and understanding there's no trailers for books and reading a good book is to me what
the back covers your trailer.
Yeah.
Huh?
The back covers your trailer.
That's if you read it. You don't have to read it.
Okay.
But you see what I'm saying?
Okay, I cut you off. Go on. I'm sorry. Go on.
But there are some authors who have radio spots that are like, you ever heard those?
James Patterson.
James Patterson has straight up commercials.
Yes.
Darcy was a woman with a past.
That makes me not read the book. It's just really
and now that past has come to find her. That's
okay.
it.
So how much do you enjoy those trailers then?
I don't. I think they're ridiculous.
Okay, but to me, now we're on trailer. All right, but go back to spoiler.
No, but trailer. I think, that's what I think that we're trying to say is that trailers are at a point now where I think that they're addressing spoilers.
Yeah, they're definitely
and you're getting trailers that are intentionally vague.
Yeah,
like Nolan stuff, and you're getting misdirection now, like in the Marvel stuff.
I think that's due to the part of people hunting down all information encompassing the movie and just piecing it together.
But you have armchair editors and armchair filmmakers who basically take trailers and
dissect them.
They don't more than dissect them. They cut them in the proper order they think they're going to go to in the film.
I know that.
Yeah, they take all the available footage there is and put it in what they think is the linear order.
I've seen so many trailer reactions like that go through shot by shot, like Star-Lord's running towards something, away from something. We don't know,
Rocket is screaming.
Yeah, he's obviously in pain or sad
or in rage, and they're fighting.
Yeah. Or he stubbed his toe. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like
now you guys are seeking out spoilers if you watch stuff like that.
But I'm just saying, I see headlines of people like for the last Star Wars movie, people have taken all the available footage and they cut it. They literally cut it before the movie came out into what they thought the proper order was linearly, like what they thought basically told the story with what was available. They pulled it all together.
Yeah.
And so again, I go back to the idea of no, if you want to show me misdirection, that's fine.
Just the F with the people that think they know it.
I'm going to bring this up as a weird, just to see where it goes, because I know that the rest of the table's not into this, but a weird spot is pro wrestling. I knew it. Yeah. Well, no, I mean, because
you lead it.
Because the thing is, though, almost your prowess as a wrestling fan is dictated a little bit by your ability to predict what's going to happen. I think.
Okay.
Do you still? With accuracy predict?
Oh, yeah, when you get around other wrestling fans and you're talking about this pay-per-view coming up and it is almost a little bit of a pissing contest of like, who's the bigger fan? Like, well, I know that they're going to do this, right? And it's not even like you're reading dirt sheets that like this is expected. It's just like, just from years of watching it over and over, you start recognizing the conventions. Like, they're not pushing this guy. This is misdirection. I think that this is going to happen, right?
Even with the idea of like someone's going to turn heel or someone's going to...
Yeah.
All that stuff is something that you like. Do they, again, I haven't watched wrestling in a million years. Do they start to sprinkle that stuff early in their storyline? Or is it one of the things where like it's supposed to be a bigger shock when it actually happens?
So, a little bit of both.
Okay.
Sometimes they'll sprinkle in a heel turn, but to set up for it. Sometimes they'll sprinkle it as a heel turn as a red herring for when who's really going to turn heel. And then that'll be like an unexpected thing.
But do you think those discussions are spoilery? Or just that you are talking about?
I don't know. I mean, I haven't thought about it. I'm just bringing it up because I think it's an interesting, weird spot in the nerd culture. That, I mean, it may just be the fact that the sport's predetermined, and so we don't care about it as much. Then, I mean, it could also be winners seem to matter less and less.
Yeah, it's the actual struggle.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know. I just want to put it out there, see where it went. But
okay.
I have a different type of spoiler that is a pet peeve of mine. Usually it has to do with TV shows. And it is the previously on TV shows.
Okay.
Yeah. And Game of Thrones is probably the worst. It's the worst one I remember. I stopped watching them. I try to skip over them whenever I can. But Game of Thrones was notoriously where they would be like previously on and then show you a character you have not seen in 3 seasons, and you're like, well, like they're coming back this episode.
That's spot on.
No, you're 100% right on that one. Yeah, like this scene that you're now showing me that I didn't remember happened. Now I know that there's some weight to this scene.
Well, sure,
that you're showing me. Yeah,
hey guys, remember this? This is what's going to be paid off, or it's going to someone's
even opening credits. I mean, I remember in along the same lines, like in Daredevil, like watching the Netflix Daredevil. I would skip over the credits as much as possible because it'd be like, and Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin. I'm like, oh, Kingpin's going to come back in this episode.
They did get a little better because on some of them, I think like when Karen Page showed up as a surprise in other shows, they would credit her first thing at the end. Instead of the opening. So they wised up a little bit.
They did.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
appreciate them.
Yeah.
I appreciate them. Okay, so to wrap up, everybody I'm sure has a story of one thing that was spoiled for you that you still took in, and then you're like, man, you know what? It would have been really, really great had I gone into this not knowing that.
Right.
What's your story?
For me, it would be, but this was a spoiler. It was. I was asked ahead of time, hey, do you care about this? I'm like, no, I don't really care about it. And that's like the first couple seasons of Battlestar Galactica, the reboot.
Okay.
Where I knew everything up to the point where, and again, spoilers, where they're basically at the point where they're the point where the Voltar is being told, sign it. That whole scene, like I knew everything up to that point. And I really wish I hadn't, because there's some amazing stuff that happens in the series up until that point. And it's one of those where I'm looking back, I was like, well, I should have just taken the recommendation and gone with it, because the person was the person wasn't pushing it. They were just like, well, do you really care? I'm like, at that point, like I told you before, when I was a kid, you know, there was Battlestar Galactica, but I had Star Wars, so why did I care about Battlestar Galactica? But yeah, I would really have rather not. Like, I mean, I love the series mostly, and then let's not talk about the ending.
Right.
But again, most of it I really think is amazing television, and then having not known that those first two seasons, basically.
Yeah. I encountered it not knowing what was happening. It was awesome.
It is.
It was great.
It's pretty terrific. That for me would be probably the biggest one.
Tommy, you ready? Yeah.
Yeah. In college, I was staying with my with a roommate off campus, and it was the summertime, and I'd geared up to finally see Godfather 2. Now, my roommate Corey was excited for me because he's seen them, and gosh, whatever. So I was like,
I might have to earmuff this.
I finally watched it.
I don't think I've seen it all the way through.
No, that's fine. That's fine, because I won't spoil it like it was spoiled for me. But his sister came in to visit him and stuff like that. And then during the conversation, she showed her, oh, you haven't seen Godfather 2 where such and such is this and this?
Yeah.
And done.
Yeah.
Anything I see on that movie was inconsequential because it was spoiled in the statement.
I'm so sorry.
Statement.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah. Now, mind you, mind you, this is before the internet is spoilery.
Right.
This is me not talking about it, keeping it under wraps.
Sure.
I've seen one in its entirety, uninterrupted. I just wasn't in the mood to watch 2 because it's lengthy, and it's again with what Zach was saying earlier, I wanted to pay attention.
Right.
So the only wish I didn't advertise, but she told me the plot before I could say no, I haven't seen it.
Right.
After she blurts it out, her brother looks at it, it's like, he just said he hasn't seen it.
Right.
And so, oh yeah, you're right.
I
haven't talked to her since.
I did that once. That was another thing I thought we could talk about it, but we're running out of time. Was the idea of, inadvertently spoiling something for someone.
Yeah.
And I did that with The Wire.
Oh, really? Yeah, I mean, I feel horrible when I do it. I really do. I really feel horrible.
Yeah.
We've all done that. Me, I think I've done it more times than not, just to my exuberance. But yeah, that's my horror story.
You've done it to me a lot of times.
I know. I've gotten way better.
And with me with The Wire. But you didn't mean
I didn't mean to with that one. Oh my God. You're like, what? Huh? And then I tried to course correct. Oh no, I was just joking with you. I didn't.
He died,
Jack.
Yeah.
I have a death fetish. So. But yeah, it was Godfather 2 was spoiled in earnest.
Wow.
So when I watched it, it was like, yeah, it fits right. Because I'm looking at it through fresh eyes and taking every scene as to how the character reacts and things of that nature. So when it occurs, it's not even a shock. It's like, yeah, I could check this off.
Oh, that's rough.
No, yeah,
sorry,
extremely. Man. Yeah.
Clifton, you got one?
Yeah, a recent one I can remember a few years back when they did the star-studded Murder on the Orient Express.
Oh, yeah.
So somehow in my entire life, I never knew the ending to Murder of the Orient Express. So we got this huge, all-star cast coming out. I'm like, I'm kind of excited. Like, I'll actually get to
the
experience.
Yeah.
Kenneth Branagh, Daisy Ridley, all sorts of
people. Oh, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, like I'll actually get to experience this like from the aspect of not even knowing the mystery, not just appreciating
right.
adaptation.
Oh yeah,
and I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil the mystery. But it was just like somehow, the book's been out like 100 years.
Yeah,
like, I've been a lot of years and somehow never figured it out. So like it was like a week before I was going to watch it. I see online like somebody making a reference to just something else, and they're like, "Oh, like in Murder on the Orient Express," and reveal like the whodunit part of it.
Wow!
I was like, "Crap!" Like I had a good run.
Yeah, I was fortunate when I came across it. I did a back-to-back. Mm-hmm. Me and my girlfriend watched the first, then the one previously, which is also star-studded, and yeah, I don't know how. That escapes me. I've read, seen shows. Yeah, I agree with you. It's amazing how certain things don't drop into the zeitgeist because they've been out such a long time.
Yeah,
but if you get the chance, I recommend watching the Kenneth Branagh one, then the earlier one.
Who's the other one?
I'm trying to think. It's totally escaping my mind.
Is it Hercule Poirot?
Yeah,
okay. It's a Poirot mystery.
Both are Poirot mysteries.
Who's Poirot in
Kenneth Branagh?
Yeah, he directs it. He directs it also
because Malkovich was Poirot for a little bit.
Was he?
What was I forget which one that?
Like it's like it's PBS.
Yeah, but that's a series, isn't it? That's not.
There was a series that had I don't remember the guy's name. He was a supporting character in Perfect Murder, which is a remake of Dial M for Murder. Like one of my. We should talk about this sometime. Like the remake. And also the remake you both like. Okay. You know what I mean? Right. The original and the remake you both like. Yeah. But he was in that one. And I remember. So he's always that guy to me. Like, so he's a dude helping out Gwyneth Paltrow in A Perfect Murder. Yeah. Okay. So mine. So, okay. Everybody seen Aliens?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So mine, this is really more like how it happened for me because I saw Aliens for the first time last year.
Wow.
Maybe 2 years ago. And this is like 30 years of people like, you haven't seen Aliens? Aliens is great. You should see Aliens. So I finally went to see it. There was a film festival doing like 80s movies. So I went to see Aliens in the theater. It was awesome. Happened to bump into somebody I worked with sitting in the line behind me. It's just a funny little anecdote to this. Catching up with him, he was like, and then I'm like, I've never seen this movie. I'm like, I think I'm the only guy in this theater that hasn't seen this movie. And the theater, like, all turned around at me. Practically. It was like, how have you not seen this movie?
Right.
Anyway, it's just a funny anecdote.
Right.
No, he did not spoil the movie for me. So we're watching the movie, right? Movie's going. Paul Reiser's in there, right? He says some line about like
it's a bad jig. It's a bad jig, Ripley.
Yeah, it's like I'm just a nice guy, and the whole theater erupts in laughter. And I went, oh. Paul Reiser's an asshole in this movie. He's going to be the bad guy, isn't he? Because everybody laughed.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that like nobody should have laughed at that. I get it, but that's on me. But I just think it's a funny way that like it got spoiled that way in this roundabout weird way that your laughter triggered me.
I thought it was going to be. I thought you were going to say Jeffrey.
No. I love Paul Reiser though.
I was going to say the 1974 one.
Oh, you got one more?
Sidney Lumet.
Okay.
Murder on the Express. Yeah. Watch that one second. Like, I urge you, do a back-to-back up.
Very cool.
Gotta check them out.
Yeah.
They sound good. All right. So that's spoiler etiquette. Any final thoughts? It depends.
Yes.
I just haven't said
No, my final thought is please start. Don't be a jerk.
Yeah, that's mine too.
Don't be a jerk.
Yeah. Don't be a jerk, but also take some responsibility yourself too. And like, don't maybe go on the internet if you're nervous that something's going to be spoiled. That's my thing too. So anyway, that's it. Thank you guys, everybody. Thanks for listening.